Exclusive, a former Wimbledon giant killer who faced Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic in their prime says only one of them utterly dominated him. The debate over which member of tennis' Big Three deserves to be crowned the greatest of all time shows no sign of ever being settled. Eras blur, numbers stack up and loyalties harden. But for former professional Steve Darcis, there is no debate at all. The Belgian, forever etched into Wimbledon folklore after his shock win over Rafael Nadal in 2013, had the rare distinction of facing the Spaniard, Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic when each was operating at the peak of their powers. Few players can claim to have stood across the net from all three in their prime. Fewer still can articulate the difference. Each match offered Darcis a revealing and often brutal education in elite greatness, exposing the subtle and not-so-subtle traits that made the trio so dominant for so long. Yet among those encounters, one stood apart. One left Darcis feeling not merely outplayed, but utterly powerless. "The best for me by far is Roger. He killed me," the 41-year-old said, speaking exclusively to Express Sport. "I played Rafa. He will usually beat you, but even if you lose 6-2, 6-2, there are lots of rallies. You have the feeling that you probably cannot win, but that you are not so far away from winning. It's the same with Djokovic," he added. "I played him a few times, I could have won sets, I was serving for the set one time. I had a few chances. Even if you lose at the end, you feel like you've played tennis, it's just that he is better than you. He is more solid, mentally stronger. But you have the feeling you are not so far. But with Roger, if he is in a good day, you have the feeling that you cannot play tennis. After 30 minutes it's already 6-1, 3-0. It's very tough." Darcis is quick to acknowledge that, when measured purely in silverware, Djokovic's claim to the greatest of all-time crown is difficult to argue against. The numbers, he admits, tell a compelling story. But in his own mind, the hierarchy remains unchanged, and Federer still sits at the very top. If you have to pick someone as the greatest of all time, you have to read the statistics. And there is only one guy who is winning all the statistics. This is Djokovic. But if you ask me which is the best player in one match, I think it's Federer. Across a 17-year professional career, Darcis carved out a solid presence on the ATP Tour, winning 2 titles and helping Belgium reach 2 Davis Cup finals. But his legacy is defined less by longevity than by one extraordinary afternoon at the All England Club in 2013.